Well, Mondays here on the program, we like to put the spotlight on the farm organization called the Alliance for the Future of Agriculture in Nebraska, or AFAN.
Today, AFAN is connecting us with the Nebraska Beef Council. Joining us now is Adam Wegner. Thanks for being here today, Adam.
You bet. Thank you. Happy holidays.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you enjoy your weekend nice and warm?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's been really nice. It's probably going to be one of the last nice weekends that we'll have for a while.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the holidays are coming up, and we're talking about beef. And I know prime rib is a popular menu item this time of year, so people might think it's kind of complicated, though.
Yeah, you're right. And I always kind of relate it to, Thanksgiving has turkey, and I think people think about prime rib for the Christmas holiday. And you're right. I think sometimes they get a little bit nervous about it. Number one, it's a big investment and they just don't want to mess it up.
Right.
But really, it's not that complicated. I think around this time of year, one of the big questions that we get is, how big of a roast should I get for the guests that we're going to have? And a lot of that's going to depend on your guests and their appetite, obviously. But as a general rule of thumb, we like to say consider one rib for every 2 people that you're having. So if you're going to buy a 5-ribbed roast, that should feed 8 to 10 people pretty easily, and possibly even have a little leftovers. The next thing that we always get is, how do I choose the roast? Now, one of the big things, because prime rib has that name prime in it, people will get confused, but you really should look for that USDA choice or prime label on it to make sure that it is a choice or prime roast when you're buying it. And then, of course, the last thing that we get is about actually preparing the roast. There's a lot of different techniques out there, a lot of different ways that you can do it. We recommend that you go with a traditional oven roast at 350 degrees. Cook it to the desired temperature that you're looking for, not necessarily a time thing, but the temperature. So using that meat thermometer is really important. And then, of course, always make sure you're taking that roast out and letting it rest for about 10 to 15 minutes before you slice and serve it. And that'll let those juices kind of relax in there and make sure that your roast doesn't dry out.
That is something I've been hearing a lot more about, is letting the meat rest a little bit, and that's kind of a funny concept, but I think it does help.
Yeah, especially everybody's really anxious to get those meals out on the table, but yeah, leaving that 10 to 15 minute window is really important.
I know everybody's talking about maybe small plate dining. It's kind of popular right now. How does beef fit into that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people want to think about their holiday meal centered around one centerpiece, but those small plates are getting really popular. And essentially what that is putting out a variety of different appetizer size plates. And so it really allows you to bring a variety to your meal, and it also allows you to stretch your beef budget. So you can utilize things like ground beef, or maybe a value roast like a chuck roast, and then shredding that up and using it into something like an avocado or a beef dip, or you can put it in a pastry, roll it up for a pinwheel, those types of things. My family, our tradition around Christmas was to have beef stew. And so again, another great way to not have a huge investment, but to stretch that beef dollar.
Yeah, I love that. I remember my grandma at 90, she was making prime rib.
Yeah, I know.
So that's a good one to have.
That's great.
All right, thank you for coming in.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks, Adam. Okay.